Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing the good old Rogue Mage. I am running the build, and as you can see, this game's going to go really quick. Sap this guy, we open on this guy. Pretty much it's just light work. We blind or we can honestly blind or kidney shot him there. Here we kidney shot, and then we're just going to blind off the kidney shot. At this point in time, this guy's dead. Off that we have a nice wall. Off that we have a RDR sap. Off that we have a RDR stun. We ended up facing a double Windwalker comp, even though we were actually pretty high. We were like 1800 plus in 18 to like 1950, something somewhere in that range of games here. But he ends up pre-walling. We open him regardless. I'm running Bubble Cloak here, so I'm not running the tricks. I'm not running the thieves PvP talent because there's no point at this point. We don't need damage. We just need to survive their opener because that's all they're trying to do is pop every CD and try to just do so much. It's like Rogue Mage. Do as much burst as you can in the opener. If you don't win, then you lose. That's kind of just how that comp is. You got to win. It's not a comp that you win consistently. It's more like you just run in and you win in the opener or you lose. That's the same thing as ours. So here, Rogue Mage versus Rogue Mage. If you're ever facing a Rogue Mage, all you need to know is it's never, unless it's a 1v1 Mage, all it's going to end up being is you versus the other Rogue. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to let the other Rogue open on you. So you have to let the other Rogue come out first. This allows us to get his, basically everything. So he didn't shrink here, which allowed us to basically almost kill him. And then I sap his if you vanish inside of Shadowy Duel, it basically allows me to sap you like this. So here we sap him, we're going to open on him. That allowed him to vanish, but I put my Shadow Strike on him, which gives an extra debuff that does damage, so he has to come back out. At this point, we're just going to vanish. If we're full HP, there's nothing he can do to do it. You know, it's just like that. Easy as that. There's nothing they could have done to us. That's why you don't want to let the opposing rogue open on you. Here's a game where we almost lost, but the mage ended up clutching up and he actually won it. So here we get a sap. We open on this guy. And we pretty much give him dicks, or I call it tricks. So here we open, we kidney shot him. We're pretty much just doing our damage go. He ends up porting, and at this point I just kill the shield here. So we got our opener. We kept the go alive. Here we can blind off it. Unfortunately, he did get the cheap shot, so we're not gonna blind here. So we're gonna hold it into the next go. The one thing that does suck is you have to get your Shadow Dance back so frequently, and you just can't do it as this comp. It's like once you use like like I have one more dance now for the next minute. So here we open on this guy, we blind. He can sheep here. I cheap shot him for him. Unfortunately, when you're playing with an arcane mage, you're more than likely gonna break CC, which I think I ended up doing right there. He had trinket anyway, so I think he just trinketed, or maybe he didn't. I don't really care. So at this point, I have no Shadow Dance, and we have to go straight off the R. Usually here, he would pre-sheep the Windwalker, so it would allow us to get a good opener. Otherwise, he just needs a DB sheep, which I don't know if he had. So here, we're waiting for the DR. I'm going to cheap shot. He's going to sheep. And unfortunately, it's another situation where the sheep breaks. So when you're playing with an arcane mage or any mage at all their damage is AoE. So now we're dead. So we needed to win right there. That was like our win. That was our win case scenario. Unfortunately, it did break, and now I'm trying to get away, but there's really nothing more I can do at this point. I don't even have a dance to use, so I can't even kidney shot the healer to do a go because I don't have stun. So here I kidney shot. He has to just sheep the healer out of nothing because if I kidney shot the healer, I can't stun the monk. So unfortunately, he's actually getting death, and so he has to bait death, bait fade. He finally gets it. By then, I'm dead. Thankfully, he has an unhealable amount of burst, so he ends up killing him right here just in time. And we're gonna skip it a little bit to where he actually beats the healer 1v1. So he ends up winning us the game. As you can see here, he ends up taking out the healer. Arcane Mage, it's something fun to play, but like 3v3 wise and solo shuffle wise, it's not that good. It just it's like a fire mage. Like it does really explosive burst damage, but that's all it is. It's just a burst. You do, your little burst, and then you do nothing into your burst. It's literally fire mage, and while it does do a lot of damage, frost mage is it's a lot better overall. because it just the survivability, the consistency. Arcane does nothing consistent wise. It just has that huge amounts of burst aim. In 2v2 arena, it's great, but in everything else, it's not going to be that good. In Blitz, great. 2v2 arena, great. Everything else, sure you can make it work, but it's not going to be your cup of tea. It's not something that you're just going to drink every single day. It's something that just is not going to happen. So here we blind. He rings off the blind a little bit way too early, which kind of is bad, but it's okay. It's not a big deal. Here we just shadowy duel off of it. The goal on the shadowy duel is not to get more cooldowns. It's literally to stop him from doing damage. My mage is at 50% HP, and the hunter hasn't even played the game yet. So that's that's that. So at this point, we're running away. My mage should kind of just be AFKing, but we are getting more cooldowns, and he's actually just killing the priest on his CDs. They already force block pretty much in the next few seconds. So here I trinket the fear out of nothing. I got feared on air. We do get his trinket, which is really nice. And now I have to stop the MD. Because if I don't, then he gets no healing benefits, and we lose the game automatically. At this point, we have to get the priest trinket, and we need to go. So right off DR, we need kidney shot. Even if it's still on DR for the hunter, we're going to wait and then stun. We do get stunned, which is unfortunate, but we had to force that go. Thankfully, the priest trinketed into a sheep. We did get turtle here. Again, we should have lost the game 10 minutes ago, but thankfully my mage is kiting and he's actually using his abilities to get away. And so we're just tanking down the time. We need one more go to win the game. They're just playing super defensive, which is going to be the end. Unfortunately, he does end up pre-fading, which is this should have been the game here, but and I think he traps off this, or no, he knocks me. Thankfully, my guy gets the sheep, and just in that tiny bit of period of time, we actually kill him. So my mage had some explosive damage. Another situation to where they do an insane amount of burst damage, but their survivability is unbelievably bad. As you can see, that was 3 goes altogether thereabout, and that was every CD. Thankfully, they didn't decide to push in. That would have been the game losing if we did. But, we take the W every day of the week, and that's all there is to it. Next game, Warrior Shaman. These are the comps that we like to face because Shaman doesn't have anything it can use in a stun, which is how it's normally supposed to be. Every healer in the game now can use like 9 different cooldowns in a stun, 9 different walls. Thankfully, this is the one class that still is, unable to do that, which allows us to do our little mini go here. So we use every ability, everything. He actually blocks me off for my own setup, but it's alright. At this point, we didn't get any trinkets. We did get wall, which is nice. But here we can pretty much just continue the go, continue doing damage. So here, he's not gonna sheep because it's off DR, and we're not gonna stun because why would we stun? And now we do our go. So we blind. He can sheep off the trinket, and now he's dead. So just a beautifully put setup. Just even though the warrior had trinket still, and the shaman trinketed pretty much instantly on the blind, we ended up being able to take him out with a good old-fashioned shadowy deal. Which again, a shadowy duel can come out in handy, especially when you have the mage having all of his damage at a weirdly time. So here we do an opener. I give my guy tricks when I can. He gets a resheep off the sap, really nice. I smoke bomb late. He's probably gonna just jump out of it. He ends up getting knocked. He does get a full sack, so he's running full sack. There's no point in going on the warrior. Here I swap to the healer for a second because he's running full sack. There's no point in not going him right now. And we end up getting bubble. And that's just, again, another good swap. Here he ices off the H-power from his guy. Unfortunately, I think he missed it, but it's alright. And we shadowy dueled the warrior, not to do damage, but to keep him lower HP than, when he would be able to get top. So here we get to go, really good. And, that shadowy duel helped us from not allowing him to get any healing off. So it allowed us to have this, we're forcing cooldowns. Again, he's still at 30%. He gets bopped. He steals the bop. And we have one more go, and pretty much win. However, one more go, the fact that I got this re-stealth is why I got away. If I didn't get away and he actually was able to connect, we wouldn't have got this re. Alright, so here we're going to cheap shot him right off DR, and then we're going to stun, and then the game's over. So we're going to cheap, kidney shot the warrior as fast as possible before he can stun me, boom, and we win the game off this. Even though he pre-stunned, I pre-stun him, I'm just going to re-stun, and the game is over. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Peace, peace.